The controller is your #1 tool in Fortnite. It's how you have good aim, have crazy piece control, and it's how some win hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's not one controller that fits every player. There are hundreds of different controllers to choose from. So today I'm exposing the controllers that each pro player used. And you'll want to watch the end to figure out why these pros are picking these specific controllers. Just remember to subscribe. So almost a year ago I made this list, which has most notable pro controller players along with their controllers and a few more things, but this list isn't accurate anymore. Hold on a sec. Get rid of this guy. Let's go. Wait a sec, we got one more. Holy. Alright, like I was saying, this list isn't accurate anymore. A ton of these players have changed their controller, and there's actually a pretty common trend among basically all of them. So starting with the undisputed best controller player in the world. He's won 5 FNCS finals with over $550,000 in earnings. It's Miro. And Miro just switched from playing double claw on a normal PS4 controller to now playing on a regular PS5 controller. Wait a sec, let's check out what's going on down here real quick. This guy shot. Yo, I didn't know he was on top. Alright, so we know that the #1 best controller player had switched from PS4 to a PS5 controller. To follow that, we have Reed. He's always played on a Scuf Infinity. Well, he just switched to a PS5 controller as well. So now we have 2 of the top 3 best controller players switching to the PS5 controller literally just in the last like 2 weeks. But we do have some pros that have been on the PS5 controller like Byla, who has nearly $100,000 won on the game, and he even won an FNCS on an Xbox One controller, but even he decided that trying to get used to a PS5 controller will be better, so he's now been on a PS5 controller for like 8 or 9 months. Oh, this guy's a little builder. Oh, of course you get my wall. Good thing your aim sucks. Oh. Yeah, I'm over this. I'm over this. Let's go. Gotta show off what my controller can do a little bit. Alright, so we have Miro, Reed, Byla. All of them have switched to a PS5 controller. Is anyone seeing the trend here yet? Basically, what's been happening is controller pros have been spending more and more time on PS5 controllers, mainly because they're playing a lot of console tournaments like the PlayStation Cups and the Console Champions Cup. I could not line up that shot. They just came and sniped him. He stole my kill. I can't believe I missed that shot. The console tournaments are not the only reason that these pros are switching to the PS5 controller though. The PS5 controller has also been found to have the lowest input lag possible, specifically when you overclock it, because the polling rate can be set to 8,000 with a sub 2 millisecond input lag time. For reference, the next fastest controller is the PS4 controller that has a polling rate 8 times lower at only 1,000 hertz and almost double the input lag at 3 milliseconds. And when we're talking about pros, every millisecond matters. They need the best performance on their setups to help them play the best. That's why they spend a crazy amount of money to get the best frames possible. Some of them literally move where they live just so they can get better ping. So it's not too hard to imagine that they're gonna pick the controller that gives them the best possible performance. Alright, hold on, let's kill this guy. Little 70 hit. I don't know why I'm getting shot in the back. But Miro, Reed, and Byla are not even close to the only ones that have switched to PS5 controller. TK is someone who's been on a PS5 controller for a while already while dominating console tournaments. Letshi is one of the OG pros that's still playing, but he did switch from the Astro C40 to actually a custom PS5 controller from AIM. And he's not even the only pro that switched from an Astro C40. Alright, hold up. Let's get this quick off-spawn kill. Let's go. So the Astro C40 was a pretty popular controller that some pros absolutely love, but for whatever reason, they pretty much completely stopped making them, and you can only buy them used now. That's essentially forced the pros that did use them to switch controllers, and that's exactly what Letshi, L2 Coop, and Playify all did. And funny enough, they all followed the same trend. All of them used Astro C40, and then Letshi, of course, switched to that PS5 AIM controller. L2 Coop switched to the PS5 Scuf Reflex controller, and then Playify also switched to that same PS5 Scuf Reflex controller. What a hit. Oh, that was a nice little play. Showing out for my controller. But that custom Scuf Reflex PS5 controller has become insanely popular for pros. With the PS4 controller style, most pros just opted for the standard PS4 one, mainly just because it was the best option. It had the least delay with the best durability, but that doesn't really seem to be the case for the PS5 model controller. Like, of these 25 pros that I'm talking about right now, only 5 of them are using the standard DualSense PS5 controller, while another 5 use the Scuf PS5, who includes Coop and Playify, like like I just said. And then also Owl, who has switched to it from the PS4 controller. Death, who has switched to it from the Scuf Infinity. And then Cam, who is actually the first ever pro to switch to the PS5 Scuf Reflex. So actually more pros are opting for custom PS5 controllers from third-party companies than they are just the standard DualSense one, which is kind of interesting. Are we just gonna play this like no build? I hear you trying to sneak out this stuff. Yo, getting walls first try is crazy. Oh, there we go. Thank you. That aim is so good. Alright, hold up. Let's win this game real quick. It's a 1v1. I don't know why my gun is like this, but let's go. To keep on the same topic, G-Money is another pro which has just recently switched from the PS4 to the PS5 controller, along with Chaos Gaming, who did the exact same thing, PS4 to PS5. And these two in specific have some of the craziest controller mechanics I've ever seen, with the absolute fastest edits and piece control, so them both switching to PS5 controller is pretty crazy to me. Okay, what are you doing? You've been sitting up here this whole early game. Wait, watch this play. Going, boom, let's go. So far, literally every pro I've listed is using some sort of PS5 controller, but believe it or not, there are actually pros that use other controllers. There's still 4 pros that are on the old standard PS4 controller, and that's gonna include Day. Then we have Ocus, Gold, and Squish, all also on PS4. Although if you ask me, after what I've seen and researching for this video, I'm convinced that every single one of them will switch to a PS5 controller at some point this year. Like, I'm pretty sure soon enough there's gonna be no pros left that just use a PS4 controller. Oh, he's not even trying to fight, he's just trying to get to the rift. Let's move down the list even more. There's 2 pros that still use the normal Xbox One controller, and that's gonna be Illust and Pump, even though I think both of them actually do play a lot of the PlayStation Cup, and when they play the PlayStation Cups, they do play on a PS5 controller. And I have no more shotgun bullets. No way. I have nothing reloaded. Oh, let's go. Loot and ammo. I don't like this whole hammer thing. Ooh, let's go. And this has storms holding. What? Maybe they'll leave me alone enough to be able to say that there are still a few pros using the Xbox Elite controller. And those pros are going to be Wolfie's, D-Roller, and Spade. Yo, that first shot was crazy. Now, there's one last category of controllers that pros use, and actually more pros use these than I thought. It's PS4 Scuf model controllers. Like CRR uses the Scuf Prestige, both Scoped and AV use the Scuf Impact, and then we have Crip on the Scuf Infinity. I gotta say that Scuf has actually surprised me a ton on this list. In general, they're not known to have great durability, but I mean 9 of the 25 pros in this list use a Scuf, so just going based off that, they can't really be too bad. But for me personally, I've tried a lot of different controllers, and out of all 30, my favorite is this one I'm using right now from a company called Sin. Break this wall real quick, do a little endgame piece control. That was awkward. And boom, that beautiful edit. This is by far the best controller I've used. Make sure to subscribe and check out some of my other videos, and thanks so much for watching.